Rise in our seat and welcome with a big round of applause, my friends. Let's give a big round of applause as we have the presence of Mashelkar sir on stage. Follow. Lead us from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, and from mortality to immortality. Lighting of this ceremonial lamp symbolizes illumination of knowledge and our collective pursuit for a brightest future. Let's give a big round of applause, my friends, as we join this ceremonial lighting of lamp through our applaud. Let's give a bigger round of applause, my friends. We have tall personalities present on stage today. Thank you very much. A beautiful photograph being captured on this August gathering of inaugural ceremony of National Scientists Roundtable Conference NSRTC 2026 for Viksit Bharat 2047. My friends, over the years, NSRTC has emerged as one of India's most distinguished scientific forums, bringing together the visionary leaders of science, including Padma awardees, fellow of national academies, directors of premier research institutes, and eminent scientists from IITs, ICERs, CSIR laboratories, and leading universities, guided by the wisdom and the leadership of icons such as Dr. R. A. Mashelkar sir, Dr. Vijay P. Bhatkar sir, Professor M.M. Sharma ji, Professor G.D. Yadav ji, and Professor Satish Chandra B. Ogle ji. This conference stands as a celebration of scientific excellence, innovation, and nation building in pursuit of vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. My friends and dignitaries, over the next 3 days, NSRTC 2026 will witness thought-provoking keynote addresses, stimulating roundtable discussions, recognition of scientific excellence through prestigious awards, engaging poster and project presentation, and meaningful interactions between distinguished scientists, researchers, scholars, and young innovators across the diverse domains of science and technology. Together, these deliberations will inspire many new ideas, foster collaborations, and contribute to the shared vision of a developed and self-reliant India. My friends, as we begin with this remarkable journey of scientific excellence, let us immerse ourselves into every session, every discussion, and every interaction of this conference, drawing inspiration from the collective wisdom of the remarkable minds gathered here. My friends, as we now formally commence this auspicious inaugural ceremony, it is only fitting that we begin the paying the tribute to our nation so that it inspires our pursuit of knowledge and innovation. May I now request let us rise in our seats for national song, followed by World Peace Prayer. My friends, this World Peace Prayer is a true reflection of the ethos of our university. But before that, let us remind ourselves once again for our duties towards the nation through national song, Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam, Sufalam, Malayaj Sheetalam, Shasya Shamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Shubhra-jyosna pulakitayaminim, Pullakusumita drumadala shobhinim, Suhasinim, Sumadhura bhashinim, Sukhadam varadam Mataram, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram.
I request everyone to please fold their hands, close their eyes. Let us bring the image of our mother, father, our deity in front of our eyes. Let us calm down and wholeheartedly participate in World Peace Prayer.
प्रतिपाद्या जय जय स्वसंवेद्या आत्मरूपा देवातुति गणेषु सकलार्थमति प्रकाशु म्हणे निवृत्तिदासु अवधारी गोदी गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Thank you very much. My friends, with this, we are all set to begin formally with the National Scientist Roundtable Conference, NSRTC 2026, with the theme for Viksit Bharat 2047. My friends, it is now my privilege to invite a visionary leader whose dedication and tireless efforts have been instrumental in shaping this prestigious conference. As the chairman of NSRTC 2026 and the founding director of Microlin Incorporate USA, Dr. Ashok Joshi ji has been at the forefront of the fostering scientific collaboration, innovation, and excellence. May I now request Dr. Ashok Joshi ji, the chairman of NSRTC 2026, to kindly deliver his welcome address.
Namaskar and very good evening to you all. By the way, this is my first speech where I'm reading in my life. Well, let me begin. Respected Chief Patron, Chief Guest, and Visionary Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, Padma Bhushan and Supercomputer Maharshi, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar, Vishwaratna and Vishwadharmi, Professor Vishwanath Karad, Visionary Executive President Rahul Karad, past Chairman of DRDO, Dr. Samir Kamath, past Chairman of SF World, Dr. Ganesh Natarajan, past Director of ICT, Padma Shri Professor Yadav, past Director General CSIR, Dr. Shekhar Mande, past Director of ICT and Vigyan Maharshi, Padma Vibhushan, Professor Manmohan Sharma, respected Chancellor of ICT, Padma Bhushan, Professor J.B. Joshi, our distinguished awardees, Dr. Narayana Rao Sripada and Captain Nikunj Parashar, distinguished guests, scientists, academicians, industry leaders, innovators, faculty members, researchers, students, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of organizing committee led by Dr. Bharat Chaudhary and his able team, a very well welcome to you. It is my privilege to welcome you to the third edition of National Scientist Roundtable Conference. We are truly overwhelmed, and we mean that, and blessed by the presence of India's most distinguished leaders in science, technology, research, industry, and innovation. Your presence, sir, reflect this symposium and motivates all of us, especially the young researchers and students gathered here today. NSRTC is more than a conference, it is a platform that connects research and industry, innovations with entrepreneurship, and knowledge with national development. As India moves towards becoming a global innovation leader, forums like NSRTC play an important role in fostering collaboration, engage in disruptive thinking, and translating research into solutions that benefits the society. I would also like to acknowledge the remarkable synergy between Rahul Karad and Padma Vibhushan Raghunath Mashelkar. They share a unified vision of building a Viksit Bharat through youth empowerment, value-based governance, inclusive innovation, and scientific excellence. Their shared commitment reminds us that the future of our nation will be shaped not only by technological achievements, but also enlightened leadership and human values. Today, we are privileged to honor one of India's greatest scientific minds, Padma Vibhushan, Professor Manmohan Sharma, with the Vigyan Maharshi Award. And to recognize Dr. Narayana Rao Shripada and Captain Nikunj Parashar with the Deep Take Young Entrepreneurial Awards. These honors celebrate excellence, innovation, and spirit of nation building. After the inspiring addresses of our esteemed dignitaries, we shall conclude today's very important inauguration session with the keynote lecture by Padma Bhushan Professor J.B. Joshi on generation of national wealth through science and technology. How important it is. This lecture is particularly significant in the context of Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi vision of making India a $35 trillion economy by 2047. Today, India's GDP is 4.1 trillion, as against 35 trillion for the United States. Per capita GDP of India is $3,000, as against $85,000 for the US. Bridging this gap requires innovation-driven economic growth, scientific excellence, entrepreneurship, and commercialization of research. I know my philanthropic experience in Satara district rural areas for last 25 years realized Professor J.B. Joshi's insights on wealth creation through science and technology in rural India is so valuable. I request all of you, especially young minds, to remain with us, enjoy this inaugural ceremony, and actively participate in the enriching sessions that follow. I am confident that NSRTC 2026 will ignite new ideas, strengthen collaborations, and inspire innovations that contribute to stronger, self-reliant, and developed India, especially for young minds. On behalf of entire NSRTC organizing committee, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all distinguished dignitaries, speakers, delegates, sponsors, volunteers, faculty members, students, and volunteers for your gracious presence and support. Let's begin with traditional Indian felicitation ceremony. Thank you. so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your words and welcoming everyone on this dais for this important gathering of NSRTC. And as sir rightly said, it is now my duty to request the Executive President, Dr. Rahul Karat sir, to kindly felicitate and welcome the dignitaries present here on stage with us. First and foremost, of course, I would like to request sir to kindly felicitate and welcome the former Director General of CSIR New Delhi, National Research Professor and the former Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, and President of Global Research Alliance, the chief guest of this gathering, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar sir. A big round of applause, my friends. It is our good fortune that we have Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar sir, as chief guest. I now request sir to kindly felicitate and welcome the Chancellor of ICT Mumbai, Padma Bhushan, Professor J.B. Joshi ji. Let's give a big round of applause, my friends, to Professor J.B. Joshi ji. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your presence on this stage. A big round of applause, my friends. I now request sir to kindly felicitate and welcome the former chairman of Defense Research Development Organization, DRDO, and Secretary of Department of Defense and R&D, the guest of honor of this gathering, Dr. Samir Kamath ji. A big round of applause, my friends, for Dr. Samir Kamath ji. Thank you, sir. I now request sir to kindly felicitate and welcome the President of INSA and former Director General of CSIR New Delhi, the guest of honor of this gathering, Professor Shekhar Mande ji. Dear friends, scientific excellence deserves not only recognition, but indeed celebration. For it is the relentless pursuit of the knowledge and innovation that nations are transformed. The National Scientist Roundtable Conference proudly honors the individuals whose extraordinary contributions have advanced science, technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship, while inspiring the generations of researchers and innovators. The Vigyan Maharshi Award is the highest honor of NSRTC, recognizing a lifetime of outstanding contribution to science, technology, engineering, innovation, and nation building. Complementing this, the Deep Tech Young Entrepreneurs Award celebrates the visionary innovators whose technology-driven enterprise are creating meaningful societal impact and strengthening India's journey towards technological self-reliance and Viksit Bharat 2047. To announce more about these awards and to share its thoughts on these awards and the background, it is my proud privilege to invite one of the foremost architects of modern Indian science and innovation, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar sir. Sure. My friends, it is indeed, let us now take this gathering forward to the most important part, or I would say the most awaited part of this gathering, where we are going to confer these two awards which I talked about just now. My friends, The Vigyan Maharshi, the first and foremost, it is my privilege to share with you that the first award, the Vigyan Maharshi Award of NSRTC 2026, this year is being conferred upon the Fellow of Royal Society of United Kingdoms and former Director of ICT Mumbai, Padma Vibhushan, Professor Manmohan Sharmaji. I request him to kindly grace the chair of honor. And now it is indeed my honor and privilege to read the citation of honor being conferred upon Professor Manmohan Sharmaji, a visionary scientist, distinguished educator and institution builder, and architect of India's scientific and industrial transformation. Professor Manmohan Sharmaji has devoted more than 6 decades to advancing science, engineering, innovation, and nation building. Among India's most eminent chemical engineers, he has profoundly influenced India's scientific, technological, and industrial progress through pioneering research, visionary leadership, and selfless public service. A visionary mentor and trusted scientific advisor, Professor Sharma supervised more than 70 doctoral scholars and shaped national policies through his service on Scientific Advisory Committee to the Cabinet and the Scientific Advisory Council to the Prime Minister and Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, strengthening the scientific excellence, energy scrutiny, and technological self-reliance. The first Indian engineer elected a Fellow of Royal Society. Professor Sharma has been honored with Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, and numerous other prestigious distinctions. In recognition of his extraordinary lifetime contributions to science and engineering, higher education, industrial innovation, and national development, we are privileged to confer the prestigious Vigyan Maharshi Award upon Professor Manmohan Sharmaji, one of the principal architects of India's scientific and industrial renaissance, at Dr. Vishwanath Karad, MIT World Peace University, Pune, on this 17th day of July 2026. The award, which comprises the citation of honor and a cash prize of rupees 5 lakhs. Let's put our hands together as we celebrate MIT WPU Vigyan Maharshi Award 2026. A big round of applause, my friends. Such a tall personality present here among us. The person who not just envisioned but showed path to entire country. A beautiful photograph being captured once again. Let's give a big round of applause once again and congratulate Padma Vibhushan, Professor Manmohan Sharmaji, as I request him to share all the dignitaries on stage joining hands for this picture-perfect moment of the conferment of Vigyan Maharshi Award, as I request him to say a few words in response to this award.
Whatever time you stay. Eminent personalities on the dais I am really humbled. It was embarrassing to sit on the chair and all others standing, you know. I really felt embarrassed that it's not a kind of thing I would like to see, that I am sitting and all others are standing. Thank you very much. I'm very happy because the two Maharshis who were my collaborators are here. Raghunath alias Ramesh Mashelkar, Jeshraj Joshi. I hope G.D. Yadav also turns up. All are Padma awardees. What greater pleasure can a teacher have when his collaborators have become fellows of Indian National Science Academy? They have got Bhatnagar Prize, and Ramesh Mashelkar becoming fellow of Royal Society. What a great pleasure. I just want to take 2-3 minutes first to tell you why innovation is important. What triggers economic growth? It is invention which leads to innovation. And the problem that we are facing in India are the following. First, we don't have the culture of owning failures. Without failures, you will not have invention. If you don't have inventions, you will not have innovations. In this context, I want to quote the greatest personality of the world today. I don't consider Trump as the greatest personality. I consider President of China as the greatest personality. He happens to be my tribesman. He's a chemical engineer. And he has a quotable quote that China should concentrate on fundamental research so that we invent and do not import technology. Now, what is the dichotomy we are facing in India? See, research is inspirational. It's not preordained. You do not know the real research, you don't know the end of your investigations. Sometimes it's like a walk in the blind alley to find out whether it is really blind. Whereas managers, particularly finance people, want result before the result they release money. It is completely contradictory. Now, a researcher who's going to be inventor and become innovator, he is a very different class of person. He is curiosity driven. He works endlessly. He has passion and he has a desire to attain something. And contrast this with the management, which wants continuity, status quo. Researchers on the other are iconoclasm. So there is this real clash between inventor and people who hold money. This is the one which is coming in the way of India becoming a famous country for inventors, leading to innovations which change the dynamics of economics. If you see the breakthrough that came for mobile phone, which is an example of all-inclusive growth in India, every part of it is based on invention. And some of the inventions have come by sheer hard work, long duration of passionate work, curiosity. What else can I say? On the other hand, you look at how the management looks. I just quote to you one example of pertaining to chemical industry by chance. When platforming technology was developed in UOP, the board of directors did not realize the importance of this. And the two gentlemen who are associated with this are today in Hall of Fame in Washington. We would not have had benzene, toluene, xylene. You wouldn't have had your PET for apparel wear or for PET bottle. You wouldn't have got PET, but for that piece of work during around Second War. A lot of inventions have come through serendipity. Many people do not realize anesthesia, insulin, the LED, in fact, LDP, low density polyethylene, high density polyethylene, Teflon, were all serendipitous. But serendipity, like penicillin, never occurred to uninitiated persons. It always occurred to highly accomplished person. So don't be under this impression that one of these days serendipity will come to me and I'll invent something. You have to work pretty hard to have a serendipitous. So this journey from curiosity-driven inventing and taking this invention to innovation. And we are using this word innovation very loosely in India. Politicians are talking about innovations which are like, day before yesterday's accomplishment. I remain grateful to him. It's a pleasure for any teacher. I had an aim when I joined at the age of 27 as a professor, highly hazardous entry, that if I failed, it will be stigma for rest of the life. But I had one aim, that I want to develop people far more cleverer than me. I had nominal cleverness, but I wanted people. And I'm so delighted that so many of my collaborators are well-known personalities in India. What a great pleasure for a teacher, researcher, administrator, and an industrial consultant, than having a group of people. I've been consultant to chemical industry for more than 60 years. And let me explain to you how difficult it is to convince management to do something for the first time in the world. Repetitive part you can do. But doing first time in the world, because pops up a question, has anybody done in the world? Is this the way we should progress? I think we should stop this. I want things to be done for the first time in the world. And we are seeing some wherewithal of this in the young minds. And we should let them fire their imagination. Once again, my grateful thanks for giving me this coveted award. I'll cherish it for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Let's give a big round of applause, my friends. And indeed, yes, a standing ovation. Sir, kindly accept this standing ovation. It is indeed our honor and privilege to have such a personality with us. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for being here and making our motherland proud. Thank you. And now, I would like to take the gathering forward with the second most important award of this evening. And to accept this award, I would like to invite on the chair of honor the co-founder of SWASA, the winner of Deep Tech Young Entrepreneur Award of this year, Dr. Narayan Rao Sripadji. And it is now indeed my honor and privilege to read the citation of honor. Deep Tech Young Entrepreneur Award 2026 Citation of Honor, Shri Narayan Rao Sripadji, a visionary technologist, accomplished inventor, pioneer, innovator, and entrepreneur leader. Shri Narayan Rao Sripad, the founder and chief technology officer of Solicit Technology Private Limited, has harnessed the power of artificial intelligence to redefine the respiratory healthcare and expand access to quality medical care. A globally recognized innovation with the scientific public health impact, Shwas has become one of the world's leading AI platforms for cuff-based respiratory assessment, clinically validated through collaborations with premier institutions. Its findings have been published in internationally renowned journals, including Nature Scientific Reports, through strategic partnerships and with governments, programs, and expanded respiratory screening in underserved communities. His pioneering innovations have established a new benchmark in AI-enabled respiratory healthcare, Under his leadership, Salsit Technologies have built a robust international patent portfolio, achieved ISO 13485 certification, and many, many others. In recognition of his outstanding scientific ingenuity, pioneering technological innovation, visionary leadership and entrepreneurial excellence, and transformative collaborations to advancing accessible, affordable, and equitable healthcare through deep technology, Dr. Vishwanath Karad, MIT World Peace University, Pune, is proud to confer upon Sri Narayan Rao Sripadji the Deep Tech Young Entrepreneur Award on this 17th day of July 2026. This award comprises of the citation of honor and cash prize of rupees 1 lakh. Let us put our hands together and congratulate with a big round of applause, my friends, Sri Narayan Rao Sripad, the co-founder of Shwas, as the Deep Tech Young Entrepreneur Award 2026 is being honored. A big round of applause, my friends. Indeed, a pioneer in the deep tech and a young entrepreneur who has given the technology access to the poor and underprivileged citizens of this country. I would now like to request him to kindly say a few words in response to this award. You have 10 to 12 minutes, sir.
Good evening, distinguished members of the Governing Council and the Selection Committee, respected dignitaries, faculty, fellow awardees, ladies and gentlemen. I am truly honored and humbled to receive Deep Tech Young Entrepreneur Award from MIT World Peace University, Pune. My heartfelt gratitude to the Governing Council and the Selection Committee for recognizing our work and believing in our vision. Myself, I am Narayan Rao, founder and CTO of Salsit Technologies. We have a product, Swasa, which is primarily used for screening, triaging, and monitoring of respiratory diseases. Just by using the smartphone, recording a 10-second cough, it will try to detect the underlying abnormality and identify the chance of having conditions like pulmonary tuberculosis, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, asthma, and so on. So, our work brings together the deep science of cough acoustics combined with artificial intelligence to create a healthcare solution that is both highly accessible and affordable. I remember recently Dr. Ramesh Mashelkar, during FICCI Legends series, he said that India's future lies in developing high quality, low cost healthcare solutions by combining deep science with the artificial intelligence technology. And he also reinforced the philosophy of more from less for more, creating a greater value with fewer resources to benefit the society at large. I mean, these words really have a guiding principle for us throughout the journey. And before becoming an entrepreneur, I did work with DRDO, Texas Instruments, Motorola and Hewlett Packard, where I developed expertise in digital signal processing and software product development. Looking back, every stage of that journey prepared me in doing what we are actually building today. I mean, all of us know India carries a very high burden of respiratory diseases, especially for pulmonary tuberculosis and COPD. Yet, the greatest problem is that these diseases get detected very late, and more importantly, World Health Organization is saying that there are so many people who are actually subclinical and asymptomatic, and detecting these diseases is really becoming a problem. So that is where the opportunity of these innovations can really transform the healthcare technology. And I'm so exciting to see that after we started working on cough acoustics, now people are accepting that it is just not a symptom, but it is actually a physiological signal which carries a lot of information about the respiratory system. And the way the cough gets produced and the way the anatomy plays a role, there is a lot of science. And that's what we are able to understand and bridge that understanding with the technology to really develop SWASA. And it is not an incremental innovation. We are not, we did not do something like a portable device or an electronic stethoscope. We completely brought together a new shift in the way screening can be done for respiratory diseases using cough as a marker just by using the smartphone itself. And today, I can very proudly say that the government, state governments, and various NGOs and the health service providers are using SWASA to screen people for various respiratory conditions. Very recently, at Andhra Pradesh, with the help of government, we did a pilot in one of the districts. And in about 6 weeks, we screened 7,000 people. And the screening really helped in detecting 11 positive TB cases. And more interestingly, 36% of these people who detected with the tuberculosis are asymptomatic. They don't have symptom. So the device really helped in detecting those conditions very early in the cycle and then further subject them for the actual treatment. Once again, I sincerely thank MIT World Peace University for presenting this award. Awards like this are much more than recognition. They are source of encouragement, responsibility, and renewed determination. They inspire us to continue pursuing boundaries of deep technology for the social impact. So Dr. Mashelkar sir, your philosophy of more from less for more has been a constant source of inspiration for our work. It's a privilege to receive this award in an institution that celebrates the very spirit of innovation you have championed. And I also take this opportunity and express my deep sense of gratitude for receiving this recognition in presence of Professor J.S. Mani, under whose guidance I underwent initial training at DRDO through the Institute of Armament Technology here at Pune. And those early years really laid the strong foundation for my journey in engineering and innovation. It's equally humbling to receive this award in presence of Dr. Samir Kamath, former chairman of the Defense Research and Development Organization, standing here today with the pioneers from the very organization where my journey has begun in engineering. It actually makes this recognition a very important and meaningful. Personally, for me, this award is just not a milestone. As I mentioned, it's an honor and a powerful source of encouragement to continue pursuing deep tech innovation that can really create meaningful impact to the society. And thank you very much for giving me this award. Thanks to MIT World Peace University.
Thank you very much, Dr. Narayan Rao ji, for contributing in such a beautiful way for the development of our nation. My friends, now let me take this gathering forward to the second awardee, the second award in the category of Deep Tech Young Entrepreneurs Award being conferred on the founder of Sagar Defense Engineering Private Limited, Captain Nikunj Parashar. I request him to kindly accept the chair of honor as I take the privilege of reading the citation of honor. Deep Tech Young Entrepreneur Award 2026, citation of honor, being conferred upon founder of Sagar Defense Engineering Private Limited, Captain Nikunj Parashar, a visionary entrepreneur, national award recipient, merchant mariner and alumnus of Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. Captain Nikunj Parashar founded Sagar Defense Engineering Private Limited in 2015 to harness the autonomous and unmanned technologies for national security, operational efficiency, and protection of human lives. Under his leadership, the company has emerged as one of India's leading deep tech enterprise, developing indigenous autonomous maritime and aerial, underwater, and terrestrial systems that strengthen nation's strategic defense capabilities. Over the past decades, his achievements have earned numerous national and international honors, including NSG Counter IET Innovator Award, Excellence in Maritime Technology Award, and the BML Munjal Award. He has also represented India at the leading global forums, including World Economic Forum at Davos, VivaTech at Paris, and Slush Helsinki, and Clantech Open in Los Angeles. Captain Parashar exemplifies the visionary entrepreneurship, transforming the frontier technologies into national capabilities. Let's put our hands together for Captain Nikunj Parashar.
Thank you. I thought I had 3. Thank you so much for this honor. I'm slightly nervous. For the first time today, I met my Guru Drone. That's Dr. Mashlekar. The first award I got was in 2018 of 25 lakhs through Maharashtra State Innovation Society to build a vessel which could clean garbage out of water. Then I have an honor today to see and meet in person Dr. Sharma, whose books we have read, especially on reaction engineering on the chemical side. My brother was in ICT, the only thing he left after 6 months. Then comes Dr. Sameer Kamath, and the Honorable Sir, Sagar has come up all this way. Dr. Karad, thank you so much for this university because my brother-in-law did his petrochemical engineering from here and he's doing extremely well in his life. So it's a full circle. I had come here and he had got a government seat, and when I entered, I got shocked, and almost 14 years back, I said, how much more do I have to pay? And we come from below poverty line. And the best thing about this college was there was a scholarship given. And every year at the end, he had to fill that form and the money used to come back. And that's something very great which has happened at MIT. To take it forward, and I was thinking, I didn't know that I'll be in this August gathering because my 12th failed physics, chemistry, maths. So please take me that seriously. I'm going to speak in English, and I'm better at it. I wrote a small poetry, and this is especially for the generation of people, Gen Zs and who we are, where I'm dealing a lot with them, sir, more on that. So it's more about Har mat maan, तू बन रहा है, you know, don't give up, you're taking it. So I've written this and then I'll take it forward. तू वो नहीं जो एक हार से टूट जाएगा, तू वो है जो गिरकर फिर खड़ा हो जाएगा. आज दुनिया दिखाती है सबको अपनी जीत की कहानी. On the Insta, on the apps, you see everybody is doing well. पर कोई नहीं दिखाता रोने की वो रवानी. You know, I got 2 heart attacks back to back. For 12 minutes I was not breathing. And I had 2 of my co-founders in the car. And after 12 minutes, I got up in the hospital and I said, क्या हुआ मुझे? He said, you were not breathing for 12 minutes. मतलब इतने में तो brain dead हो जाता है. But God knows how you survived. 7th day I was in a meeting. Now, as Professor Sharma said, that invention is very important. And we do understand that when you do invention, you run a startup, you're an entrepreneur, investment is equally important. But I'm telling you, there are people in this country who will come by and support you on your curiosity, on your dreams to take it forward. Today, Nikunj is standing here is due to Professor Mashlekar, who is here. And it has been a support. I've never met him. For the first time ever, I came and touched his feet and said, it's an honor to meet you. The thing is, stop looking at others' success. Start believing in yourself. That is very, very important. And yes, we are a tough country when it comes to innovation. R&D fund is not easily available. It's there, difficulty is there. But it's not because the ecosystem or the government is like that. It's because we are like this. We do have a trader's mentality. We go for shortcuts. This is our also biggest challenge. Do we want to have money overnight? Yes, we do. It took us 15 years where we are. I sold houses to build a factory. I built the first factory, bought the second land, sold 2 more houses. I was a merchant naval captain, so I had money. Then I sold and I lost everything. And then my wife decided to also quit her job in Bank of America, and she thought I have a lot of money. I didn't know what to say to her. I said, the only money coming to me is from you. And then an investor visits us and says, कि इसमें 22 फुट के खड्डे हैं निकुंज, ये 4 एकड़ की जमीन तो तुमने खरीद ली है, इसे बनाओगे कैसे? तो I told him कि सर अगर 1 ईंटा का पैसा होगा तो 1 ईंट लगाऊंगा. 9 महीने में हमने फैक्ट्री खड़ी कर ली. बात ये नहीं है कि फैक्ट्री खड़ी कर ली, पर जिद है कि मुझे अपने आप पर विश्वास है. Most important for everyone to understand, and especially to young boys and girls out there, I would like to say, believe in yourself. It's important that you have a grit. And you know, Stanford did this study and they said, which is the one most powerful trait in someone to move ahead? Is it your health? 2 heart attacks. No. Is it your knowledge? No. Is it the power of money? No. There is one trait which is very important in a person, that is grit. Grit is passion and perseverance. You cannot remain motivated for every day. That means you need discipline. Discipline brings you focus. Focus brings you motivation to go back at it and keep doing it. And this is something I realized. You know, I was earning 2 crores a month, 2 crores a year, settled life, doing well, decided to jump into entrepreneurship and then realized paisa kamana bahut difficult hai. But then when you start flowing like a river, everybody starts flowing with you. It takes time. And that time is the most difficult period because this is where possibly your family would not believe in you. Your friends would have gone up and moved ahead in their life, and you would be finding it very difficult. Ki ab kya kare? Get up, pick up your batons, tighten up your shoes, and move ahead. I was listening to somebody and he talked about 3 important alphabets in life. And those 3 important alphabets in life is B, C, and D. Can anybody guess what is B and C and D? Anybody? Okay, let me tell you. The most important alphabet in this is first is B, that is birth. We don't decide where we are born. And the next is D, that is death. You don't know when you're going to die. But your journey from birth to death, you decide. And that is on the alphabet C, which is choice you make in your life. जब मैं 12वीं में fail हो गया, and I watched 3 movies, something about Mary, never been kissed, dude, where is my car? I wanted to get a 0 in my paper. I wrote my name in the paper and I came out of it. In 12th standard, you know, hormones did something wrong to my head. And they gave me marks 9, 11 and 13. So I failed in failing. So I went to Naigaon railway station. I come from Virar in Mumbai, Naigaon railway station. I sat there till 11:15 in the night to, you know, get underneath the train and to kill myself. At 11:15 in the night, I realized, मर गया तो ठीक है, स्वर्ग पहुंचा, नरक पहुंचा तो ठीक है, बीच में अटक के भूत बन गया तो? And that was the most difficult question to convince myself. I said, I'm not going to give my life. And I came back. We were originally from Bihar, now more of a Maharashtrian. So I came back home 2 days. I was treated well. And after that, my father is like, isko marunga, dusra paida karunga. But then I never failed in my life after that. Never again. And it's not that I spoke about it to myself. It is you keep doing your right things. As humans, we are bound to make mistakes. Don't consider mistakes as failure. Accept it as learning. Don't look at somebody's wealth. Don't look at somebody's happiness. Don't look at somebody's car, vehicle, anything. The power to get it done is in you, and there is only one thing. One is knowledge, that is Saraswati. Saraswati Mata ko mat bhuliye. Raja ki puja uske praja mein hoti hai. Vidwan ki puja sarvatra hoti hai. And दूसरी चीज है आपके मेहनत करने की क्षमता, और वो मेहनत वहां से शुरू होती है जब आप थक जाते हैं, जब आपको उठने का मन नहीं करता है. That is perseverance. Make sure you do that. I come from slums of Mumbai, and just last week I decided to buy a Ferrari, and I went to buy a Ferrari. My two other co-founders said, we will take a McLaren. The other said, I'll take a Lamborghini. We booked, we came back in the evening, back to our office, and we said, why do we need these cars? We can buy it, right? So we don't need it. So we canceled it again. So don't go for these small, happinesses in life. It's much bigger. And the day you realize that your power of work, your knowledge starts affecting somebody else's life, I think that's true success. And the classic example, everybody is sitting here, their hard work, their knowledge have been changing lives for people like us. So this is what I can tell you. I'm right there. They made me sit there and receive this award, but I'm nobody. But only thing I can say is I have been looking up to all of them. I have been following all of them journey. And I say is, get a guru in your life, whether it's a business coach, whether it is a life coach, your school teacher, you need to get that. Parents are the most important. And जो वहाँ पे लिखा है कि स्वराज माझा जन्मसिद्ध हक आहे आणि तो मिळवणं तसंच आहे. मी गरीब पैदा होऊ शकतो, but to make sure that my mother and father, they don't die poor, it's in your hand. So jaan laga do yaar. That's all I can say. Thank you so much once again for this award, and it means a lot. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that deeply motivating words. My friends, our next guest of honor is an eminent scientist and one of the foremost leaders of India's defense research ecosystem. Through decades of distinguished service, he has played a pivotal role in strengthening our nation's indigenous defense technologies and advancing the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. His leadership has inspired scientific excellence, strategic innovation, and technological self-reliance in the areas vital to national security. It is my privilege to invite Dr. Sameer Kamatji, the former chairman of Defense Research and Development Organization and secretary to the Department of Defense Research and Development, Government of India, to address the gathering. Please put your hands together and welcome with a big round of applause, my friends, Dr. Sameer Kamatji.
Luminaries on the dais, award winners, dignitaries in the audience, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. I have a very tough act to follow, that I have to speak after Nikunj and his very powerful speech. It's with a sense of privilege and honor that I am present here today, and I would like to thank the organizers for thinking of such an event. This event will go a long way in motivating our young minds to take up research. As you are all aware, today we are a 4 trillion economy and we have to move to a 35 trillion economy by 2047 if we have to become Viksit Bharat. And that can only happen if we generate our own IP. And that can only happen if we do R&D. We have a few crazy people like the head of Sagar Defense, but we need more people like him. We have to translate our research into products. It's not enough to publish a paper and be very happy that my paper has got cited. Unless you translate the research that you do into products which make money for the country, you will not contribute to India's growth. Our Prime Minister has set us a dream, but it is up to all of us to make sure that we realize this dream in the limited period that we have. If you look at our demographic dividend, it's only in the next 20 years that we are going to have this dividend. After that, our population is going to shrink. So it's in this limited window we have to become a developed country. If you look at our neighbor to the north, he used his demographic dividend very effectively and transformed from an economy which was the same size as India to an economy which is 4.5 times India's economy in the last 30 years. Today we are living through a period of immense disruptions. There are disruptions in the supply chain. There are disruptions in technologies. A lot of these technologies which have emerged, such as AI, ML, quantum technologies, are going to really change the way we develop our products. It is going to change our communication, our cryptography. And if we don't use these modern technologies effectively, we will be left behind. We missed the semiconductor revolution. We were totally dependent. Today, as a nation, we have woken up and decided that we need semiconductors to be made in the country. But in the 70s and 80s, we were one of the leaders. The semiconductor complex foundry in Chandigarh or Mohali was one of the state-of-the-art foundries. But after a fire incident, we allowed that capability to wither away. We cannot afford the same mistakes in these new technologies. I'm sure with gatherings like this and with the visionary leadership of the Karat family here in MIT, the students in MIT will get motivated to make research as their career and contribute towards the nation becoming a developed nation in the years to come. So my best wishes to all of you for successful deliberations over the next 2-3 days. And I'm sure you will use this opportunity to build networks and effectively leverage those networks to progress in life. So thank you and all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you for sharing some of the insights where at least I was not aware of. But if such important things happened in our country and we let them happen just like that, shouldn't have been the scenario. So thank you very much for bringing those to the attention of this gathering. My friends, the next person whom I was going to invite, unfortunately, is not present with us on dais. But indeed, it is our privilege that we have received his blessing through a video recorded message. We were expecting and we were going to have Padma Bhushan, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar, a visionary scientist and institution builder, and one of the principal architects of India's technological transformation, best known as the founding director of CDAC for leading the development of India's Param supercomputer. His pioneering contributions have placed India's firmly on global map of high-performance computing and digital innovation. Although he could not join us today in person, it is our privilege that we have received his blessings and inspiring message. May I now request my audiovisual team to kindly play the video message received by our patron, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Vijay P. Bhatkar sir.
ज़रूरत नहीं है हमें तेरे पैरों के
The third National Scientists Roundtable Conference for Viksit Bharat, NSRTC 2026, organized by MIT World Peace University, Pune. Like the previous editions, I would have been delighted to be present with all of you. As I am unable to join in person, I convey my warm greetings and best wishes for the grand success of this important national conference. NSRTC has emerged as a significant platform bringing together eminent scientists, academicians, technologists, innovators, researchers, industry leaders, and young students to deliberate on India's scientific and technological future. I sincerely appreciate the visionary leadership of Dr. Vishwanath Karad and the dynamic efforts of Sri Rahul Karad in nurturing this unique initiative, especially as India moves towards the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. India stands at a defining moment in its scientific journey. Artificial intelligence, quantum technologies, high-performance computing, semiconductors, biotechnology, space science, clean energy, and other deep technologies are transforming the world. Our ambition must be not merely to adopt these technologies, but to become a global leader in creating them. The journey of Param demonstrated that technology denial can be transformed into an opportunity for national innovation. Through confidence, teamwork, and a clear national purpose, India proved its capability to build world-class technologies. The same spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat must now guide our efforts in AI, quantum computing, semiconductors, biotechnology, cybersecurity, defense, space, and other strategic technologies. I am pleased that NSRTC 2026 is focusing on these emerging frontiers. At the same time, I firmly believe that science and spirituality are complementary. Universities must become vibrant centers of discovery, innovation, entrepreneurship, and nation building. They should inspire young minds to question, innovate, solve societal challenges, and become creators of knowledge rather than merely seekers of employment. As we move towards Viksit Bharat 2047, every scientist, researcher, university, startup, and innovation ecosystem has a vital role in shaping India's future through scientific excellence, technological leadership, and ethical innovation. On this occasion, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to Professor M. Sharma, recipient of the Vigyan Maharshi Award, and to the recipients of the Deep Tech Young Entrepreneur Awards, Captain Nikunj Parshar and Dr. Narayan Rao. I wish them continued success in their inspiring journeys. I congratulate MIT World Peace University for organizing NSRTC 2026 and extend my best wishes to all the distinguished speakers, scientists, researchers, awardees, delegates, and participants. May this conference inspire meaningful collaborations and contribute to building a scientifically advanced, technologically self-reliant, and spiritually enlightened India. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you very much, Bhatkar sir, for your blessings and I would say unwavering support to this platform of National Scientist Roundtable Conference. NSRTC since its inception. My friends, it is now my privilege to invite our next guest of honor, who is an eminent scientist and an inspiring research leader and a distinguished institutional builder. Through his outstanding contributions to life sciences and scientific administration, he has played a significant role in strengthening India's research ecosystem and advancing the frontiers of scientific excellence. His leadership of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research and his continued service as the President of Indian National Science Academy reflects his unwavering commitment to science in the service of society. It is my privilege to invite Professor Shekhar C. Mandeji, the President of Indian National Science Academy and former Director General of CSIR New Delhi, to address this gathering. Welcome, sir.
धन्यवाद। मंच पर उपस्थित सभी महानुभाव, परम आदरणीय प्रोफेसर M.M. शर्मा जी, माननीय डॉक्टर माशेलकर जी, प्रोफेसर J.B. जोशी जी, समीर जी कामत, राहुल जी कराड़ और आज के मुख्यतः जिन्हें 2 पुरस्कारों में डीप टेक टेक्नोलॉजी का जो पुरस्कार मिला है, कैप्टन पराशर और डॉक्टर नारायण राव, यहाँ उपस्थित सभी महानुभाव, इस सभागृह में उपस्थित सभी महानुभाव, मैं देख पा रहा हूँ कि इस ऑडियंस में not only there are leaders of science and technology from the past or the current generation, but there are also science and technology leaders of the future generation. So it's a great gathering in that particular sense. And I would like to tell the students that the kind of gathering that is present here is rather rare, very, very rare, that you have so many distinguished professors, scientists, technologists, innovators present in the same room. We can judge that by numbers. We have already been told how many Padma awardees were here. And some of the Padma awardees who are not here, but their best wishes are with us. But also the people who have contributed immensely to India's growth since 1947. And if you were to calculate how many $1 trillion of economy has been generated by 3 people here alone, Professor M.M. Sharma, Dr. Mashelkar, and Professor Joshi, is unprecedented in history. So it's a rather privilege for someone like me to be here amongst all of you. I would like to remind the younger students that as we speak here and as we deliberate the next 2 days at NSRTC, which has itself become a flagship event at MIT WPU and in Pune, that we are, as we speak, going through 4 major global transitions. Without realizing, every day when we get up, please remind ourselves of the 4 global transitions. There's number 1, there's the geopolitical transition, and that you read every day in the newspaper what has happened in the rest of the world. There's a transition that we are passing through without realizing. The second one, that is the demographic transition that is happening all across the world. Trust me, 100 years from now, the number of people living on the planet is going to be much less than that is living today. And it's already happening in many countries. But the 2 other transitions, which are even more important than the geopolitical and the demographic, are climate change, there's number 1, and the technological disruption that is happening all around us. Our capability in the technological disruptions to engineer natural systems, our capability to make machines think is unprecedented in human history. And in fact, the pace at which this transition is happening is so fast that we have not even thought about the moral, philosophical, spiritual, economic, social, ethical aspects of these transitions that are happening. Trust me, today, the progress is happening at a pace which has, for the first time ever in human history, has outpaced our capability to assimilate what is happening around us. And to live with that for future, we need future leaders. And one of the objectives of this conference is to create those future leaders, to create awareness among the younger people. And we do look forward in whatever life years that are remaining with me in contributions from the leaders, young leaders who are present in this particular audience. All the very, very best to all of you, and do enjoy the next 2 days at this particular conference in NSRTC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Let's give a big round of applause, my friends, to Professor Mandeji. And sir, thank you very much for putting in right words the situation that we human beings are going through at this point in time. We are unable to assimilate the development that we have created ourselves. And we are literally clueless that where this AI is going to take us. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that. My friends, every scientific conference leaves behind the legacy of ideas, discoveries, and intellectual exchange. And this NSRTC 2026 is also not an exception to that. A book of abstract, which will now be published at the hands of dignitaries on the stage, is going to be a testament to the remarkable research contributions and innovative thinking of the scientists, researchers, and scholars participating in this conference. It captures the spirit of inquiry and collaborations that defines NSRTC. May I now request all the dignitaries present on stage to kindly join hands and unveil the Book of Abstracts of NSRTC 2026. A big round of applause, my friends, as all the dignitaries unveil the Book of Abstracts of National Scientist Roundtable Conference 2026 for Viksit Bharat 2047. Thank you. There are a few personalities whose vision transcends laboratories, institutions to shape the scientific destiny of a nation. Our chief guest this evening is one such iconic leader, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Raghunath Anant Mashelkar sir, is an internationally acclaimed scientist, an exceptional institution builder, and tireless champion of innovation-led inclusive development. His pioneering leadership has inspired generations of scientists, strengthened India's scientific ecosystem, and transformed India's innovation landscape. His life and work continues to exemplify the spirit of excellence, resilience, and nation building. It is my distinct honor and privilege to invite our chief guest, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar, the former Director General of CSIR, National Research Professor, former Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, and President of Global Research Alliance, and the chief patron of NSRTC 2026 to address this august gathering. Please put your hands together and welcome with a big round of applause, my friend, the chief guest of this gathering, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R.A. Mashelkar sir.
Distinguished eminence on the dais and my friends, it is both a privilege and a deeply emotional moment for me to be here today, because this gathering is not merely the inauguration of another conference. It is the celebration of an idea, and the idea that science is the most powerful force for national transformation. As India marches towards Viksit Bharat 2047, The question before us is not whether India can become a developed nation. The real question is, can India become a nation that creates knowledge, owns knowledge, converts knowledge into wealth, and finally converts that wealth into societal well-being? I believe the answer is a resounding yes. Today, I wish to congratulate MIT World Peace University for an extraordinary initiative. Private educational institutions have established awards in sports, in culture, in management, in entrepreneurship. But very rarely has a private university created a national awards that celebrate the highest achievements in science itself. And Rahul, the entire credit for this goes to you. I'm a bit biased, by the way. I consider him as my second son, so you have to take it, whatever I say, with a pinch of salt. I have tremendous admiration, tremendous affection for him. In between, I was asked to talk about the origin of this award, and I refused to do that. I said, I'll make it a part of this. Normally, I obey whatever you say, but I didn't this time. Because there's a story. The story is the following. How did this award originate? You know, there is this famous Bhatnagar Prize. Samir, we were talking about it. It's considered as a mini Nobel Prize for young scientists up to the age of 45. I remember when I took over as DG of CSR, it was 20,000. I made it into 2 lakh when I took over as a DG, and my successors made it into 5 lakh. Do you know today what it is? 0 lakh. For some reason, the government decided that scientists cannot have cash awards. It was not only that, and Professor Kamath were talking about it, all those awards were taken away where there was a cash that was involved. I just don't understand the reasons. And I remember I was expressing my agony to Rahul Karar, and that is what makes him special. He instantaneously came out and said, we will create an award which will be a cash award. And that is how Vigyan Maharshi was born. That particular award was born. And I'm very happy that today my Guruji, Professor Sharma, has sort of received this particular honor. By accepting this honor, very frankly, he has honored the award itself. I'll be very honest. His citation was read, but citation is always limited. Citations don't have emotions. Citations don't capture the history because they're unable to do so. So I have to say a few words about this, and I'm going to take full advantage of the fact that it is very rarely that you are ahead of time, by the way. All right? 30 minutes ahead of time, by the way, which is wonderful. So I'm going to make use of that time. Because this is very important. I find a lot of young students here, teachers here, and for them it is very important to learn about Professor Sharma what the citation doesn't say. As he said, we have known each other, worked with each other for 60 years. Yes, 1966 was the time I joined him for my PhD. And that was a very unusual decision. I had actually, being among the top of the class, I had got scholarships in US and Canada. But when I looked at him, because he was my guru before I took over as his student, he had inspired me. And I said, where can I get a better guru? So I did something unconventional. I did not go abroad. I just said, I will work with him. And thank God I did that. Because whatever I am today is because of him, by the way. He has been my guru, my guide, my friend, my philosopher. He has guided me all around. I've been given credit for MLM, more from less for more. You give me the credit for that. Where did it originate? Because more from less for more has a signal there, which is about affordable excellence. It has a signal that you can do things affordably and still create excellence. It was Professor Sharma who taught us that it is not the size of the budget that matters, it is the size of the idea that matters. And I remember while working with him, please, when we want to clap, it doesn't cost anything at all, so be free, okay? Because I've been finding that the intensity of claps is not what I would expect, as a matter of fact, while we are celebrating others. And particularly with these young people, I think, keep your hands free, all right, for claps. You have to learn to admire greatness, basically. So I remember Professor Sharma, you know, my entire amount of money that I had available, the contingency was 10,000 rupees for a year, $100. And a $100 you can't do anything. But I remember our publishing papers in the topmost international journals with that sort of money. The power of ideas matter, not the power of budget. I think that is what we have to remember, because we can't have that as an excuse. Please remember that. In 1920s, Sir J.C. Bose, S.N. Bose, Raman Ramanujan, etc., what kind of budget they had? India was a poor country. And yet, Sir C.V. Raman went on to win the Nobel Prize. Some others also should have got, they did not get, very frankly, for whatever reason. All right? So I think that was one lesson he taught. The other lesson, which is very important, is the ethics of science. Ethics. I remember when you write research papers, the guide has the habit of putting his name in all the papers, whether he has contributed or not. I'm sorry, I'm being blunt. Okay? You know, my first paper was Sharma and Mashelkar. He was the principal author. The second one was Mashelkar and Sharma. I was the principal author. And the third paper was Mashelkar alone. And he is the only scientist in India that I have met who has an annexure to his CV which shows the papers published independently by his students when he was guiding them, basically. That is ethics at the highest level. I hope the guides who are sitting here are taking notes with regard to this particular part of ethics. The other thing about him, which again has not been captured in the citation or cannot be, is the following. And that is, he was offered Director Generalship of CSIR. There are two Director Generals of CSIR, Shekhar Mande and myself. We were tempted to accept those. He was not. He said no. He was offered Secretaryship of Department of Science and Technology. He said no. He was offered the chairmanship of University Grants Commission. He said no. He was offered Member Science Planning Commission, which is a, as you know, state minister, cabinet minister's level position. He said no. He wanted to be a guru, an eternal guru. And he has been a guru, guru's guru, and Gurunam Guru, I would say. So we have this M.M. Sharma tree, that means his students, and then his, like JB is his student, JB Joshi, then his students and so on and so forth. Can you imagine, we had a meeting of that tree, M.M. Sharma tree, you know how many? 1,300, 1,300. So he has created leaders after leaders, after leaders, one after the other. This is again something that cannot be captured by the citation. But please understand why I'm saying this. This is very, very, very rare, that ethics, that sense, is very, very rare today. So what we are honoring today is what we have lost, as a matter of fact. And we need to be sort of remembering that. His impact has been, of course, phenomenal. Mukesh Ambani had said in one of his speeches that 10% of India's GDP has been influenced by Professor Sharma's ideas. You know? So I think what we have done today is really honor an individual who is a legend today. Second, I'm very happy that we have started this new award. This is the great thing about Rahul. You know, you give him a new idea and he will immediately capture. Because finally, science is important, but entrepreneurship, which is based on science, is very important. And this is a profound step that he has taken, because this is all about promoting science, technology, and entrepreneurship. And therefore, deep tech entrepreneurs, technopreneurs. You know what is our problem? Why I consider this as a profound step? Do you know, out of 10 startups, 9 fail and 1 succeeds? And the reason is very simple. They are not based on innovation. They are based on renovation. How do I deliver the food faster? Those kinds of startups. Many startups improve convenience. Some improve business models. Some simply improve delivery speed. Those innovations are useful, but they do not necessarily expand the frontiers of science. And deep tech is fundamentally different, because deep tech begins where scientific discovery begins. The foundation is new science, its engine is research, its fuel is intellectual property, its destination is new industries and national competitiveness. India cannot become Viksit Bharat merely by creating more startups. India must create science-powered startups. And today, we have honored 2 science-powered startups, which is again a rarity. I'm sorry. Today, somehow or the other, we are celebrating rarity on the dais. Rarity on the dais. I must say something personal, because I am linked in some way to both the awards. Shwasa. You know, in my mother's name, I created what are called as Anjani Mashelkar Inclusive Innovation Awards 15 years ago. What were they for? I am not a great believer in best practice. I am a believer in next practice. When you say I am doing the best practice, you are copying somebody's best practice. DuPont, Dow, somebody. I want my India to create next practice, which can become best practice for others. All right? So right from day one, we have been giving awards, and there have been 15 of them now so far, and Shwasa happens to be one of them. And you heard that there are papers in Nature that have been published. All right? It's not easy to publish a paper in Nature. Entire India publishes hardly a dozen papers in Nature every year. 2 of them have come for Shwasa, basically. That is the kind of deep science that we require. But look at the impact. Of course, you explained it beautifully. But we use this. What we have done is that the 15 Mashelkar awardees, they are all affordable excellence. Not affordable excellence, ultra affordable excellence. For example, you want to measure your hemoglobin. What would you do? Somebody will take a prick, blood, send a sample, and then you will get it by 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon what your hemoglobin is. There is a breakthrough where you use photoplethysmography and associate technologies, put your finger, and you know what your hemoglobin is. Just 10 rupees. That's all. Non-invasive. Okay? Similarly, when he talks about just cough as a biomarker and you know where you have TB, you know its significance. He uttered one line in between, I don't know whether you caught it or not. Asymptomatic, he said. I was horrified to see on the other day that in Northeast, out of 3 TB patients, one is asymptomatic. What does the asymptomatic mean? Let me explain to you. I remember we have created now what is called as the FX Healthcare Kit. FX is Affordable Excellence Healthcare Kit, which has 6 or 7 such devices, all non-invasive, all AI powered, by the way. One of them is, of course, yours. And we're gone with Tata Power. They were scanning some 180 people. So somebody came and he said, "Kya kar rahe ho?" So we said, "We are doing this test." He said, "Main to theek hu." And he was walking out. We said, "No, come, we'll test you also." We found he had TB. We used Shwasa. We sent him to the hospital and we found that he had TB. Now you can just imagine. And on the other day on Biblebadi we found 2. So these people are spreading TB, all right, without their having any symptoms, without their knowing. So your breakthrough that we have is so very important for India. I think we have to understand. So here is an example of doing cutting-edge science with papers appearing in Nature, and on the other hand, saving lives. That's the role model that we have to have. I must say something about Sagar Defense, basically. That also is something which is an interesting story, and I'm in a bit of a mood, so I'm going to tell you the story. The story is like this. When I was a member of Prime Minister's National Innovation Council, I remember we said, you can't drive innovation from the top. Every state must have an innovation council. So Maharashtra State Innovation Council was formed, and it was called, later on it was made into a society. That is how it became society in Mr. Fadnavis' time. And there was an innovation there also. Mr. Prithviraj Chauhan was the CM, and he said there will not be only a chairman, there will be co-chairman. One will be permanent, another will be changing. The permanent fellow will be Raghunath Mashilkar, all around. And the other one will be the Minister of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. So I've been the chairman for 10 years and so on. And that has changed now, and I'm very happy Chief Minister is the chairman, so that all the secretaries come, gather, listen, and do things. So that's wonderful. 2018, you got the award, right? So 2018, we had the Maharashtra State startup policy. And what I said in the startup policy while beginning was that when a Sachin Tendulkar scores a century when he's 15-year-old, he can immediately get into the test, like Suryavanshi is getting into test now. Nobody asked him, what is your 10-year experience, right? But come as a startup, they will ask you, what is your 10-year experience? Are Baba, you will not be a startup if you have 10-year experience. So I said the conventional tendering process will not work. And for startups, we must have alternatives. And that's where the assured framework was created and so on and so forth. And I remember that 25 lakh that you mentioned, you were one of the first ones to sort of get it, Pune Institute Municipal Corporation, and then you got others, and then you went on to become what you have become today. I also read on the other day that the Boeing wants to be your partner in the liquid robo project. Can you just imagine? Can you just imagine a company like that coming finally to somebody for whom doors were open by that little gesture, as a matter of fact? I think that is what we need. Talent, technology, and trust. What is missing is, I often say that India's challenge is not budget deficit, it is trust deficit. That trust, that confidence that Professor Kamath mentioned about, that Professor Sharma mentioned about, that Shekhar Mande mentioned about, that even our startup winners mentioned about, is what is important. So let me conclude with a thought. A nation becomes truly developed not merely when it consumes advanced technologies, but it becomes developed when it creates them. It becomes even greater when it creates technologies that improve the lives of all humanity, like these startups have done. The India that we must build, our scientists have to think differently. That is the India that our young innovators will have to inherit. That is where conferences such as this will inspire. I might also say that we need a major change in terms of our national innovation ecosystem. I was just mentioning to Professor Kamath and Mr. Agarwal about this public procurement policy. For example, for startups, it's very, very important. In fact, Amitabh Kant had once asked me what are those things which can change India, and I wrote a chapter on public procurement policy of innovation, because innovation is doing things differently to make a difference. Whereas all the public procurement systems are based on things that are standard, that have been already done before. For example, on the other day I was addressing the MITI conference, and I said that's an enemy of innovation in some way, because you always ask for 3 beats. Now 3 beats, if you are first time doing something in the world, how can there be 3 firsts? There will be only 1 first, right? So we have to change that ultimately, as a matter of fact. You talked about software as a medical device. What a struggle it is to get that as a category. X-ray is known, culture is known, sputum is known, but cough as a biomarker is not known. And I think that requires sort of a fundamental change, all right? And finally, I believe that conferences like what Rahul you have organized, I want to again congratulate you and thank you on behalf of the nation that you are trying to send a new signal, basically, not just through the Vigyan Maharshi Award, the people who have already achieved the peak, the Everest, but at the same time, the young ones who are going to build Viksit Bharat. And I say, why Viksit Bharat at 2047? Can't we do it earlier? We can. We can, provided we have innovation-led exponential growth and social development. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Let's give a big round of applause, my friends, to Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R. M. Ashilkar, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your words of wisdom. And I think one bottom line is clear after hearing to almost all of them by now, that it is utter need of time that we stop importing innovation and research from outside and start building, start creating it here. Thank you very much, everyone. But let us gear up for one more insightful address. As India marches towards the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, science and technology will undoubtedly be the driving force behind the sustainable economic growth, global competitiveness, and national prosperity. Few individuals are better equipped to illuminate this path than our next distinguished speaker. Padma Bhushan, Professor J.B. Joshi ji is an internationally acclaimed chemical engineer, an eminent academic leader, and the Chancellor of the Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. His outstanding contributions to science, engineering, research, and industry have significantly enriched nation's scientific and technological landscape. My friends, the leaders, the scientists like this who are going to show us the path for future are indeed the need of time. And of course, we have the galaxy of such scientists present here today. And actually, there were many questions. Unfortunately, the format of inaugural ceremony doesn't allow us to have any questions and answers. But of course, in due course of time, we will have many deliberations on many issues that our country is facing at the moment. I wanted to ask this important question to almost all of them sitting on the dais, and of course, later in the evening, I would like to take that privilege to ask that question. That unfortunately, I'm sure we all read that news today in the newspaper, that many of the scientists have resigned from an important organization like ISRO. And that was one of the most disturbing news that we read morning today. And it shocked many of us. The social media was flooded with a lot of comments, and it was a bitter news than even a neighboring friendly enemy of ours attacking us. It was a more bitter news than that. Of course, there are many, many such challenges that our country is facing and would be facing in time to come. And of course, the ray of hope, the ray of light comes all the way from the students, young researchers, innovators, and scientists like the dignitaries present here. Before we conclude this session, we are going to hear the insights from Professor J.B. Joshi ji, who is going to enlighten us on his thoughts on a very special talk on generation of national wealth through science and technology, which is going to be a very, very important topic of address. And I'm sure that many such issues that our country is facing in the frontier of science, in the frontier of research, on the frontier of entrepreneurship would be addressed in his gathering. Let's wait for just a few seconds more as we have Professor J.B. Joshi ji on the dais. My friends, scientific innovation, science and technological platforms are definitely important, but the young minds at young age need some kind of discipline. Every great institution is built not merely on the infrastructure, but on ideas that transform lives. One such visionary idea is the Life Transformation Center, which is built at Borivali, an initiative conceived by Dr. Rahul V. Karatsa, the managing trustee of Myers and executive president of Myers and MIT World Peace University, inspired by the philosophy of connecting the soul to the soil. The center seeks to nurture the purpose-driven, disciplined, and compassionate and socially responsible youth through experiential learning rooted in Indian values. Built on the 5 pillars of agriculture and nature, physical fitness and sports, teamwork and leadership, patriotism and nation building, and spirituality, it reflects. Dr. Rahul Karatsa's unwavering belief of true education is not merely about acquiring knowledge, it is about transforming the character and shaping the responsible nation builders. In due course of time, maybe tomorrow or tomorrow in the afternoon, I would like to share that video with all of us. But right now we have the presence of J.B. Joshi sir, so I invite him and request him to enlighten us with his thought. Please put your hands together and welcome with a big round of applause.
लेजर पॉइंटर है क्या? लेजर पॉइंटर
You can start. They will come up.
Yes. Slide. कसा ऑपरेट करायचं? रेड का? हे ऑपरेट कसं करायचं? इकडे पॉइंटर आहे. अच्छा अच्छा ठीक आहे. थँक्यू. Most revered teacher of all of us, Professor M.M. Sharma. I am his disciple, Dr. Mashelkar was my direct boss for 10 years, and he also taught me plenty things. Other eminent personalities on the dais and dear friends. The subject is, everybody has spoken. I'm going to give some examples which can speak about respective innovations and huge generation of national wealth. So next slide. Yeah. I'm giving you some vision statements of several institutions in the world. What MIT says, the institute is committed to generating, disseminating. So if you take the common sense from all the universities, we shall generate new knowledge and we'll disseminate it to industry and society. Take Cambridge and see the red portion is to contribute to society through the pursuit of education, learning and research. Next slide. IIT Bombay, see the only red portion, and generates new knowledge for society and industry. ICT Mumbai will have the greatest impact on society and benefit mankind at large, and we shall be creators of sprouting knowledge. Where we are here, MIT, WPU, previous slide, yeah. Impact society with education, innovation, and culture. And what I liked the most, we believe the union of science and spirituality alone will bring peace to mankind. I'm going to elaborate this further, that how spirituality helps science and how science helps the spirituality, and how these two things can be brought together. Next slide. These are the names of the nations and their GDP, and they have been classified 1, 2, 3, 4 as per the GDP. So, next slide. Next slide. So our number is 166, and it is in 166 with $2,818. All these numbers may change. These are dynamic, but the message is the same, that we are in the bottom 1/4 of the world in terms of per capita income. Or basically, we are poor. Next slide. That is innovation index versus GDP index. If you see most of the nations, they fall on one line. You have GDP exactly equivalent to your innovation ranking. Actually, India should have been on this line, but on that line also we are falling apart. In terms of innovation, we are far, far inferior as compared to overall line, the overall line of all the nations. Next slide. We ask or introspect why this is happening. The national income comprises of the industry, the agriculture, the service industry, minus import divided by population is per capita income. So in chemical sector, we are contributing to the world's business 1.5%. Pharmaceutical contribute 1%. Electronics 1.6%. Manufacturing 1.3%. And plant-based medicines, the Ayurveda, we claim, and we are proud that it is the science generated by our nation. But worldwide business, how much? 1%. Total energy, 6%, but which is 1/3 of the global average. That is the energy consumption. Next slide. So that was the income from industry. Income from agriculture. I have listed in the second column the different agricultural products, rice, wheat, mango, sugarcane, etc. And the last column is how much less per hectare production India produces. The rice 2.4 times, tomatoes 20 times, and so on. So industry, we participate 1%. In agriculture, we produce less than 2 times the world's average. And service industry, we just serve the other nations, and we don't have any product like Excel or Word or which creates wealth. That type of product is not there, and therefore there is no income. So if we add these together and subtract how much we import, next slide, how much we import. All this list I have taken from internet. And if you go to the internet, the list of items that we import, you can create easily 50 slides. I have made just one slide. The first is the crude oil. We buy worth 20 lakh crores. The edible oil, 1.5 lakh crores, and many things. And it adds up to about 66 lakh crores. Our overall income is 1.3 trillion or 1,300, out of which 60% we give for import. And what will be per capita income? The result is we are poor. And therefore, we scientists and technologists and innovators should think something big so that we can either import from outside or create products and services which can get wealth from the other nations. Next slide. One of the examples I have given here, total reserves of ores in the world as far as titanium is concerned is 600 tons. Reserves in India, 100 million tons. These 100 million tons, if we have a technology, then titanium as a product is sufficient for next 500 years. But in between 4, 5, 6 years, tsunami happened. And this is a sand on the eastern coast which has titanium. And this tsunami deposited again similar quantity of sand which has titanium. But nation doesn't have. What we do as a result, 6 rupees we sell and we buy titanium at 2,500. I'm bringing out again and again why our nation is poor. Next slide. What I've learned from my teacher, coincidentally both the teachers are here, insights, innovation, intensification, implementation, optimization. Follow this stage-wise procedure. I'm going to give you a couple of examples or 2, 3 examples how we followed this and created huge wealth for the nation. Next slide. We know hydrogen peroxide, and process is simple. Take one organic molecule, hydrogenate it, oxidize it. So hydrogen reacts with oxygen and gives hydrogen peroxide. So the product B can be oxidized, but C cannot be oxidized. So we want maximum B. So one industry was producing hydrogen peroxide with 70% selectivity and 70% conversion. So overall in hand was 50%. Next slide. Not only that, the product C was solids, and handling solids in a continuous manner in chemical industry is a big problem. So C, I'm going to explain with the help of 2, 3 examples the stepwise procedure. the insight, the innovation, the implementation, the intensification, artificial intelligence, and finally big money. That is the way I'm going to explain. So it is a simple cylindrical vessel. Anyway, you can see the vessel, and hydrogen is passed from the bottom, and it is not consumed while rising from the bottom to top. So at the top, it is separated from the liquid and recycled with the help of compressor, right? So when the problem had come to us, the motor was 100 kilowatt, and the catalyst was suspended because of the turbulence generated by bubbles. And whenever any suspension occurs because of turbulence, it is exponentially decaying concentration profile of the catalyst. And therefore, for suspending it uniformly, more gas was required, right? But more gas would mean, what is the insight I am telling you? For going to A to B is mass transfer controlled, whereas going from B to C is completely reaction controlled. So it is easy if we don't provide hydrogen to the bulk of the liquid and concentrate the entire resistance in the mass transfer, C is not going to happen. But what was the problem? If suspension doesn't occur, then conversion is 70%, 60%. If suspension we improve by increasing the flow of gas, mass transfer coefficient increases, hydrogen goes to bulk, C goes down, and the selectivity is less. So what we did, you see there is a pipe in parallel, and at the top, the gas disengages. In the main column, we have gas, liquid, solid. Whereas in the downcomer pipe, there is only solid and liquid. So average solid liquid resistance, solid liquid density is much more than gas liquid solid density, because contribution of gas in terms of density is very less. Typically, density of gases is 1,000 times less than the liquid. So the pressure at the bottom of the side pipe is high because of rho GH, the hydrostatic pressure, and the hydrostatic pressure in the main column is less. We get pressure driving force, and there is a liquid circulation. Liquid enters at the bottom, goes up, plays horizontally, and then it comes down. Next slide. So this problem, the upward liquid flow in the main column, that's suspended solid. So what was done in the inside was suspension job, which was done by the gas, was taken away from the gas, and it was given to the liquid. It was an inertial suspension of particles, and particles were suspended uniformly. Having been particles suspended, no mass transfer was required. So 100 kilowatt compressor was replaced by 10 kilowatt compressor at very low gas velocity, and we made it mass transfer controlled. No hydrogen in the liquid phase, no product of C, and eventually the company got 70% conversion to 100% conversion, and 70% selectivity to 100% selectivity. Huge money. And then the company gave technology to the others. They also earned money. I'll give one more example. That is, next slide, synthesis of carbon nanotubes. You know hexagon, you know benzene ring, and at the corners, if only carbon is situated, and you connect another hexagon and make a sheet where at the corners carbon is situated, and roll it into a tube that is called carbon nanotube. I wanted carbon nanotube for my research for making catalyst. I inquired from United States. They said $50 per gram Please note, $50 per gram. China is always cheaper. And they quoted $10 a gram. I had a lot of money. Money was not a problem. But these numbers, my blood boiled. That this should never happen. And therefore, my 5 students, first step is insight. We provide some carbon source, say methane. So methane from gas phase go to the catalyst surface. There is internal diffusion. There is a cracking of methane from carbon to hydrogen. The catalyst gets saturated. It dissolves carbon in the form of carbon nanotubes. We did a lot of experiments in the laboratory and found that the cracking of methane is the rate controlling step and nothing else. The another problem as far as reactor design is concerned, it is required that whatever methane we provide, its utilization is complete. And that is controlling the cost. I have seen many laboratories in the world, including leading laboratories in India, the conversion is only to 3%. So the cost is high. So we found this, and my teacher had taught me if there is a complete mixing in the reactor, if there are multiple circulation cells, then how to make it plug flow. I made it plug flow, and eventually I made carbon nanotubes 3 rupees a gram, $50 a gram, $10 a gram, and 3 rupees a gram, which I commercially given the technology to 3 companies, and they are making several kilograms, which means 3,000 rupees a gram, and USA was 8,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees a kilogram, and USA was 8,000 rupees per gram. So having been made CNT, next slide. This was the reactor. I will not explain this. Whatever I did in terms of hardware and inside designs, those are not included, but that really increased the conversion. Next slide. So the carbon methane cracking was important if we operate the reactor more than 800 degrees. Below that, it is mass transfer control. So when temperature was increased from 600 to 700 to 800, the reaction time was of the order of 1 hour, 30 minutes. And it was not giving good quantity. But the insight told us that it is reaction control above 800 degrees. And therefore, we took the temperature to 1,000 and 1,200. So in place of hours as a residence time, the carbon nanotubes formed in 2 seconds and 3 seconds. So this insight told us how to utilize methane. Not only that, it shows it goes to only one product. And this is the reactor which is operating. Next slide. Using a Raman spectra, it gave a good quality. Next slide. So we started making composites from carbon nanotubes. We buy 2,000 crore worth bulletproof jackets, and some of them, many of them from China. So I imagined that on the border, our soldiers are on our side, and their soldiers are on the other side, and we buy bulletproof jackets from China again. There are 2 possibilities. They can give faulty bulletproof jackets to us. Or secondly, you pay 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakh per jacket, we are not going to give you. What is most important in innovation and production and wealth generation in India is these are the basic reasons. So we made a composite of high molecular weight polyethylene and carbon nanotubes, and I had 5 students, three were girl students, and their mothers had taught them how to stitch cloth. So they made jackets like this, 5 jackets like this. And this was in the laboratory of BRC, and the BRC leaders, they approached the defense ministry and sent these 5 jackets to them, and some, of course, to the police department. And all of them, they approved in terms of 100%, whatever is required. At that time, our Honorable Prime Minister, he announced in the Parliament that now onwards we are not going to import these bulletproof jackets from outside, but within 3 years we are going to export. So the import requirement we have completed 3 years ago. Now there is one industry, Bhukanwala, they are talking with us for making 300,000 jackets themselves entirely for export. The price of imported jacket was 2 lakh rupees and weighing 13 kilograms. Our own jacket costs only 50,000 rupees and weighs 8 kilograms. And this is the Jawan who is wearing the bulletproof jacket. Next slide. There are many other applications. The hydrogen storage is required because that is considered as future. So 0.3 weight% hydrogen storage is considered very good. But the most important application we saw is we already have 3 tragic events of blowing atomic power plants. And in all the 3 cases, what happened, the pump which was providing water to the reactor, that failed. The Japan, because of tsunami, that pump failed. And energy, because of fission, it was continuously being created, and since there was no water, the temperature everywhere increased to 2,500, 3,000. At that temperature, water can react with anything and make hydrogen. The hydrogen came to the outlet, and enough oxygen was there, and hydrogen-oxygen reaction, that was blow up. So what we decided now in the new design, put about 5 to 10 tons in the outlet of the reactor, and all the entire hydrogen which is created, if entire metal reacts, it will be about 800 kilograms. And sufficient quantity of carbon nanotubes, if it is kept, then there will not be any accident. But that is just one application. The catalyst, the noble metal catalyst, that is palladium, platinum, rhodium, worldwide how much it is consumed? 1,25,000 crores world over. And India consumes 6,000 crores worth per year. Polymer composite for windmills. This idea was given to me by my teacher. That is, in the windmill, if we increase the radius from 80 meters to 200 meters, at the same location you will get power 4 times. So capital cost reduces. That has happened. Concrete composite. We made another carbon, that is graphene, and we are also making fullerene. So we are testing all these carbon items for making various composites. So we made a composite of graphene and concrete. And for M60 concrete, because the time is limited, I'll not explain more. I'll just give the titles of it. The concrete, we can reduce cement by 40%. And it has been tested in government laboratories, and soon it will get accepted and will come in Indian standards. You see the money saved. Entire construction, the new tall buildings are coming up. And not M60. For tall buildings, M80 is required. We'll save 50%. So one cement manufacturer, he has already agreed to us, and we will give all our technology to him, both graphene manufacturing as well as concrete manufacturing. The third possibility is CNT fibers. So CNT fibers, the strength is much higher than Kevlar. And we need CNT fibers or carbon fibers. Earlier some presentation was made or outside. We are importing all the carbon fibers. No question about CNT fibers. And the problem is making the monomer PAN is easy, that we are making. But converting PAN to carbon fiber, that particular carbonization reactor is giving problem. That is, the PAN fiber does not remain stable and a lot of breakages are happening. And therefore, there are plants in India, but they are not in working condition. So what we did, we collaborated with Bitra and added to the molten mass of monomer polyacrylamide carbon nanotubes, and it oriented. The result is we are making 100 carbon fibers without any risk, any breakage, any misformation, continuously for hours together. So we will save another several thousand crores of rupees, and this technology will go. Money is a big driver. If you have something to offer and you are saving money and you are earning money, people definitely come running to you. There is nothing, no problem like that. And money doesn't have religion, money doesn't have any nation also. So if you have technology which is more economical than USA, then USA people definitely they run to India and take our product. And I have experience in that direction, particularly in biotechnology, the conversion of carbon dioxide to useful methane, methanol, ethanol. So CNT fiber we have been able to make up to 5 kilometers. So we will, in ICT, we are establishing a facility. 50 lakh rupees are required. I went to one investor, industrialist, and asked for 50 lakh rupees. He said, take it. You give me first chance of refusal. I said, I will give it to you. You make big quantity and save for imports. I'm happy with that only. Actually, I'll tell you my original driving force. My driving force is training the youth. Those who made CNT, those who made bulletproof jackets, those who made CNT fibers or carbon fibers, the age group is 22 to 25. And they are getting educated, they are getting trained year after year. And new 4, 5, 6 students are coming, and I'm paying them fellowship with my own money. Because one boy or a girl who is capable like this is much more valuable than any amount of fellowship. Next slide. We saw earlier the agricultural activity. We make 600 million tons of wastage, agricultural waste. And typically we burn. Next slide. This is the 600 million tons. Bajra gives 6.94 and total it is 603. Next slide. So agricultural biomass, please consider this as most important slide. And if you were thinking of coffee or tea in between, just stop it for one or 2 minutes and concentrate. 600 million tons of agricultural waste, which is burnt, and therefore In innovation index, we are 100. In per capita index, we are 160. But in terms of pollution, because of this burning, we are 6th in the nation's list. So how many problems are there? 600 million is our problem. We burn. India imports 20 lakh crores of rupees worth crude oil. And finally, edible oils also we buy worth 1.5 lakh crores. And one requirement I did not put in the slide, but which is most important, 4 crores of youth are in search of jobs. They don't have jobs. So I thought whether I can put all these things together, 600 million tons of waste, burning, pollution, job requirement, all these things I can put this first. And the pyrolysis reaction of biomass is known. If we heat the biomass up to 100 degrees, the binded moisture comes out. Then whatever are the volatiles or low boiling point chemicals, as we increase the temperature, they come out. And that happens up to about 450 degrees. And at 450 degrees, no gas comes. And what remains is char. So the gas which comes out, we can condense with the help of condenser, call it bio-oil, call it biogas, and call it as biosolids or biochar. The biogas, typically, if you take map of India, you close your eyes and bring in your front the map of India. And every 7 kilometers, you draw a vertical line. Every 7 kilometers, you draw a horizontal line. And the biomass available is of the order of 250 tons per year for that, 250 tons per day. And if we provide such a plant in one metric of 7 kilometer by 7 kilometer, and gas we circulate by piping to all the villages, the problem of village requirement of energy is solved. Not only solved, there is a lot of gas remaining by which we can generate electricity, and that electricity is also sufficient for that fiber. I'm telling you several examples of generation of national wealth and solving our own problems. The bioliquid, it has properties fairly similar to crude oil that we buy. We collaborated with Bharat Petroleum. And as usual, everybody is cautious. They added only 5% to the crude oil, the raw material crude oil, and they had a catalytic cracking. The products were superior than their own products. Superior means petrol is more. So they were encouraged. So they added 10% and they got more petrol. Then they on their own made 15% and plant stopped working. So the insight says if the feed has more carbon, the catalyst will get deactivated. So in the raw material, there should be more hydrogen. So therefore, we added plastic waste. Plastic has more hydrogen than carbon, and it started working. But soon we realized that the nation doesn't have that much plastic waste as compared to agricultural waste. So if you want to have more hydrogen in the inlet crude, then we already have capability of hydrogenating anything. The hydrogenation reactor, how to design, that also my teacher taught me. And I have implemented it in 500 factories, and no hydrogenator is imported. In mid-85, the hydrogenated imported cost was 10 crores per hydrogenator. That was Swiss design. We made it in 15 lakh rupees, and no hydrogenator is imported. So this way hydrogenated, and increased the ratio of hydrogen to carbon and started working 15%, 20%, 30%, and that is a good technology. What we are now trying to do, these 600 millions, if it is entirely converted to gas liquid solid, and there is a very rich biomass available in India, that is bamboo and coconut shells, cashew shells. There are many, many useful agricultural products. So this pyrolysis can solve the entire problem of import of crude. Today I am saying in terms of quantity. I have solved the problem of quality also. But as we commercialize, there will be some challenges in between. And we are not afraid of challenges. Over the period of 50 years, we are always, what is important, and I congratulate and compliment World Peace University, we are participating only 1% to the world's business for industry. We take their interviews, why this is happening. And they say something. One, the government controls are many. We don't get any useful input from academic institutions or research institutions. We don't have investable surpluses for giving to R&D. So I consider all these are excuses. If you go to academic institutions, why our country is poor, please tell me. They say first thing first, they say, as compared to industry colleagues, our salary is 1/3. Why nation is poor? Because their salary is less. Second is, these days, we don't get good young students. And what is Generation Z, and they are busy with mobiles, etc. I heard one discussion between parents and students, and parents were, that language was not good. So the student said, the boy said, you both are good because your parents were good. How much time you give to your boy or girl in a day and create a pleasing atmosphere at home. What I mean, why not pleasing atmosphere in the university, in the research institution? And many times it is said that for innovation, money is important. Big laboratory with advanced equipments is important, is mandatory. Huge library is important. The wide internet, that is also important. According to me, nothing is required. Out of this, nothing is required. My own Dr. Mishelkar told you in 1,000 rupees how he carried out his PhD research. Nothing is required. What is required is the ability to concentrate mind. If you have that ability, you will have enough number of innovations. So if you have peace of mind and ability to concentrate, if these two are nicely provided, and I'm confident that in the name of Sant Jnaneshwar, that peace of mind will definitely come. And then we will be. So the effort, the major effort required in terms of innovation is to create good atmosphere, good ambience everywhere. I request my young boys and girls friends, go to house today and tell mother, because of you I am up to here. Otherwise, I would have been anywhere. If you are telling this once in a week to mother, tell father at least once in a month. Yeah, create an atmosphere. Your friends, young friends are there, but again I will say, all husbands should praise their wife, if possible every day, but not possible. And all wives, at least once in a month, they should praise their husbands. Create. In the institution, what is normally happening when two teachers come together, they either rents are high, rents are low, share market is this, and then how politics is bad, they discuss, keep on it. Is there any problem where someone is not able to solve and he's talking to his colleagues? That kind of ambience is required. And that ambience will come with peace of mind. And peace of mind will come only from meditation. There is nothing else. And we are the creators of meditation, and we are as a last number in terms of innovation. And for innovation, I told you with confidence, no money, no lab, nothing is required. Means these are useful, and some quantity you will definitely get, because people believe you. I go to any industry and ask for 10 crores, I get 10 crores. So that kind of image you need to create that you are useful to the society. And that will solve the problem. Next slide. So these are the thermochemical processes. Next slide. So I already told you about gas, liquid, solid. I will not go into the details. The solid part I forgot to tell you. Our Honorable Chief Minister, he said that if you have a technology, we have run already out of time. So just see how I'm ending now. So the solids can be used for increasing the productivity. And for soybean, if it is increased by 50%, the solution of the problem is we need not import edible oil. We worked in collaboration with farmers in Satara district, Pune district, Sangli district, Kolhapur district, Solapur district, and we have proven that depending upon the quality of soil, we can enhance per hectare productivity by 30%, 50%, 80%, 300%. And this implemented. Wherever we are putting this pyrolysis, the steel industry is also coming. And they are collaborating very effectively with us and replacing coke with biochar. They did a lot of experiments. So char is also useful. So when this is converted into business, next slide. So you take 7 kilometer by 7 kilometer, and I'll tell you business model. You will create jobs for 1,000 people, basically young people. Next slide. Some numbers are there, how much bio-oil we'll get, and imported bio-oil is, crude oil is 120 rupees per liter. I'm ready to offer in 30 rupees per kg. Biochar also, and for electricity. Next slide. This is most important. Per capita income increases by some 50,000 rupees. The manpower required is 1,000, and if it is scaled up, then it becomes 4 crores of jobs. IRR is 35%. I guarantee there is no business existing in India with IRR of 35%. And payout period is 2.83. But I have decided in my mind, I will not give this technology to the established businessman. I will create farmers together, make some society, so that all this money should go in terms of per capita income, which is doubling the per capita income. Next slide. So all universities, what we should do is create 66 million new jobs, and we get 1150 million tons of oil equivalent, and we are needing only 700 tons right now. Next slide. See, we, university, we solve problems. Many times problems come from the library research tells what is not done. We do the research, get the answers, publish in the, so problem comes from the library and it ends up in the library. So therefore, what I decided, I took workshops of 20 women in Gujarat and Maharashtra. And in terms of cook stove, what are the problems you are facing? And you see here 2 cook stoves. One is blue flame, one is the yellow flame. Yellow flame has temperature of 600, blue flame has 1100. The blue flame has an efficiency of 72%, yellow flame has an efficiency of 12%. So we can reduce the requirement of biomass equivalent to 1 billion tons equivalent of CO2. We have promised the world we will reduce by 5 billion tons. 1 billion ton can come only from our cooking exercise. Next slide. Next slide. So the biomass to methane making, and there is a actually existing vending methane. So there is a purification, there is a compression, and there is an innovator of Gangotri, and the anaerobic digester was designed. It is being improved continuously, and we will scale it up. Next slide. Familiar? So that when nut is removed, the cashew apple is thrown. And in Sindhudurga district and adjoining areas of Kolhapur and Ratnagiri, 21 lakh tons of this is thrown. And a huge problem to the pollution. It degrades in 1 day, sometimes in 12 hours. So it has several bioactives. Our students separated, purified, and I'm not showing the business, but that is also with 20 million tons. Yeah. Next slide. There is a, this is a source. Go ahead. Go ahead. So jackfruits, US National Academy of Engineering said $75 and less should be the cost of solar energy. We made it less than that, and related paper we published in Nature. They also published. Next slide. So what is required is need of scientific temper in the society. If we want good soybean in the soil, we have to make soil fertile, and therefore we need to make entire population, and I am working through Marathi Vijnan Parishad for enhancing the temper and entrepreneurship of our society. Next slide. I'll go fast. The energy requirement is proportional to the population and the wealth generation. We are having $1 trillion and we are making only 4,000 equivalent terawatt hours. If we want to go to 35, then we need to make 60,000. If our entire land is used for solar, all the waterfalls are used, the entire wind machinery is used, and all the possibilities are there, they cannot contribute 4% when we become 35% economy, 35 trillion economy. So the only option is the atomic energy. So our institute is very actively participating in designing small modular reactors and micro modular reactors, including the fuel thorium, that is right from the source, how to make thorium pellets. Next. So this is a sketch of small reactor. I would explain it at some other time. Definitely another lecture will be there in Pune, and you come for that lecture. Next slide. There is a big innovator of India, Dr. Gharda, and under his guidance and supervision, we are developing titanium technology, so that sand from the waste. So summary of my lecture is, in 1947, we received only political freedom. However, we are more than 90% dependent in terms of technology and new knowledge outside. So we need to begin with yet another freedom fight for our own abundant knowledge, our own abundant innovations, and our own abundant wealth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Let's give him a big round of applause, my friends. Such an important technology platform, and something can really transform the Indian grassroots level people and probably convert their agricultural waste into profit. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your deep insights. And now, before we conclude this session, I would like to invite and request the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. R.M. Chitnis, sir, to kindly propose the vote of thanks.
A quick vote of thanks as we are, yeah.
We both will speak together. Yes. So idea is that what a fantastic platform, and third edition, last 43 years of our legacy. Dr. Mashelkar has guided this very mission of not just NSRTC, but the World Peace University as a whole, our revered founder. Today he is not here. I'm remembering him a lot. Professor Kamath, thanks. Shekhar Mande sir, you have been guiding last few years this mission. Today's this ceremony was something very uniquely thought by Dr. Mashelkar, and this is not the first time M.M. Sharma ji is getting some such award. I think so many awards in his lifetime he has experienced, and other two leaders also. I want to congratulate both of you also. Dr. Ashok Joshi, I think wonderful effort last so many 3-4 years back when we were discussing first time with Dr. Mashelkar, and you have worked so hard in Utah, Salt Lake. You have been working almost last 50 years there. You are a very dear friend of our revered founder, Dr. Karad. He himself is a scientist and 150 patents. Let us give a big round of applause to Ashok Joshi ji, and Dr. Khandekar, Dr. Chitnis, Professor Chaudhary, all the other team members, our Dean Research, and everybody sitting here. There are very respected members sitting. The first founding dean, Professor Sharat Chandra Darade Patil. Thank you, Professor Darade Patil, sir. You are very much there, and you and Prakash Joshi ji, and other members. I remember the Professor Bhide also today, that you people really laid a solid foundation for the next generation. And yes, Professor Mr. Narayan Rao and Parashar ji, आप दोनों का भी मैं बहुत मन से I want to compliment that this was a very important message which Dr. Mashelkar said that Rahul, let us add another 2 awards, and on the stage I was just communicating to him next year. Yes, there is a Bhatnagar Award has its own history, but for me and as an institution and as the state of Maharashtra and the country, I feel, Dr. Chitnis, we have to think that can we establish on the lines of Bhatnagar Award, Dr. Mashelkar Award for the future of this country. Dr. Mashelkar, you are one such man who has been inspiring so many people and the youngsters and everybody. I do not see many scientists, they are shy. They have done great work along in the ecosystem last post-independence. G.B. Joshi Sahab, when he was talking, I think everybody was feel like we are in the class. G.B. Joshi sir, तुम्ही काय मगाशी जी काही जादू केली, मला वाटतं काय मैं शब्दात सांगता येत नाही की ज्या प्रकारचा मेसेज होता तुमचा तो सगळा. आणि the very similar presentation I heard there, and since then we were tempted there in in California at that time, and today you are here in Pune campus. Dr. Chitnis, we see that Dr. Mashelkar, he has some expectations because he shared some of his pointers to improve this conference in the days to come. So Dr. Khandekar, we all have to work together to foster this idea, not just at this place, but Professor Rao is not here. Last time the BITS Pilani Vice Chancellor, he said, Rahul, I want to copy this idea. I said, why to copy this idea? Let this conference becomes country's conference and let it go to the various universities across the country. So he was very happy that he said, yes, next year we can host it in BITS Pilani or Goa, their campus, and it can rotate and we can take it ahead. Our students also can take the benefit. Yes, we have a WPU Goa there, and many things are happening. So without taking too long, lastly, I just want to say the scientific community sitting here, our own teachers, that's all the time this challenge I try and communicate to the academic fraternity, my own fraternity here at MIT World Peace University ecosystem, And we have also formed one body by the name of CIPU, Confederation of Indian Private Universities. So there also I said that, just now I was asking one question to Professor Mande, that in the list of last 300 years of history, how many Indian scientists you want to name? So definitely he shared some of the names, and we all know. And Professor Kamath, we were also having some private conversation. How do we really develop that environment and the ecosystem so that whether are we really, one question also I asked Professor Mande, that are we really moving away from basic sciences, fundamental sciences? I remember we are all in a race of earning money, but in the whole exercise, I think we need scientists also. We need industry people also, Dr. Chitnis. We need cinema people, all sort of people we need. But in somewhere, we as an academic institution and even the government system also need to think that, are we creating the right environment to promote the fundamental science for the future generations to strive in that direction? So that is a question I'm asking, because here also in this campus, some of my colleagues, they say, sir, this campus is a very delicate here, space value is very much. The BA and BSc, this program fees is very less. If we start this program, I think we will not get that sort of earning. So that is also some questions. So I sometimes said, no, we are a university. There can be some programs like MBA and law, they can earn a lot of money, but we cannot say that this very basic fundamental sciences, the chemistry or whatever the old traditional programs. There was a time that students used to only think about such programs, I remember. But in the time right now, people just want to just BTech and further some MBA they want to do. How many of them really can be incentivized, some government schemes also, at the university level also, so that many students after BTech, they feel, yes, I have a research mindset, and many of the students have a research mindset, but still they feel, no, chalo, jaldi se jaldi paisa kamate, to MBA karenge. So this combination also I'm not understanding, Startup culture is important for the country, but we all, as academic fraternity, teachers, and we all have to think on this very forum platform, Dr. Chitnis.
Chemistry of mind. LTC, your LTC is chemistry.
So thank you. So the Life Transformation Center, I think tomorrow sometime this film can be shown. It is a very unique exercise where 6 days the students we take them to one place there in Daund, where all our second year undergraduate students, we take them and the mobiles are taken away, and we teach them minimalism, and we are communicating the student community that to go forward, come little backward, and be humble so that you can be more innovative. Any farmer, when he plow, some seeds and all, the land is getting cleaned and everything, So here is a World Peace University. We think in that direction, my dear friends, all the respected scientists, M.M. Sharma Sahab, that this is a Life Transformation Center where we give the Life Realization Certificate, Life Realization Program, which the initiative which I have dedicated to Dr. Mashelkar, whom I love the most after my father. And Dr. Mashelkar, someday I think you haven't visited that center. You have to come to that place and bless that center. It is coming up so well. Students are extremely happy. They said, without mobile, how beautiful life is, and definitely this revolution, my belief is, yes, all the advancements, the AI or whatever is happening, responsibly using those ideas, I think we can go a long way. And definitely before also, when the 80s computers came and so many other revolutions came, we all were worried, what will happen future? Well, I think AI also, I see we are bright human community, so we will find the way forward for the overall our society transformation. So without taking too long, once again, I pay my gratitude to Dr. Mashelkar. Under your able leadership, the mission of last 43 years, the polymer engineering program, petroleum, when you initiated, we were the first one in the country to establish in the private domain. There are hardly today also some 4, 5, 7 places petroleum engineering is, and we are from Schlumberger to all the best companies of the world. Our students are doing so well, and Dr. Mashelkar guided our revered founder, Dr. Karad. I think we all, as teachers, many of you have fond memories. For the first time, I think he's not here because of his little small illness. He will get recovered soon. I pray that in the future, all the scientists who are who have come from different parts of the country, will contribute for the future development of this university and overall scientific mission of this country. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you for that.
And last but not the least, Honorable Dr. Rahul Karad sir. He has taken over my speech, so I will talk extempore. I want to remind all of you that Honorable Dr. Sharma sir said that serendipity versus accomplishment. What a wonderful thought you have given. And Dr. Mashelkam, whom we respect a lot from bottom of our heart, said that that was not serendipity, but it was an accomplishment where 1,300 scientists came as a tree of Dr. Sharma. On the same lines, if I can buy this logic, Dr. Rahul Karad's success is not serendipity, it's an accomplishment. His PhD, his Life Transformation Center, his NLC, Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, Sarpanch Parishad, Women Leadership Program, or converting this into MIT World Peace University, creating MIT Goa University. I worked with him for last 16 years continuously, day and night, and I've seen him taking leaps and bounds. And from here to where, I was reminded of Dr. Mashelkar's speech. I listen to his speech and write down in my personal diary every time I listen to him. I'm dangerously optimistic, and I will be there somewhere, and I will be looking at India. One day I should get. I want to ask Dr. Mashelkar sir, 100 years from now, how do you see this particular conference, NSRTC? And Dr. Rahul Karad, me, and Dr. Mashelkar would be there 100 years later. And this was your statement. And with these words, I want to congratulate and give a standing ovation to fast-forward, future-looking leader of this country, Dr. Rahul Vishwanath Karad sir. Thank you very much. Dr. Karad sir, standing ovation to you. Yeah.
Can we have, can we please, sure. Can we ask the technical team national anthem, please? Do we have national anthem queued? Yes. I request everyone to rise in their seat before we conclude this session. Let us have the national anthem, please.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की. Thank you very much. Take good care of yourself and see you tomorrow again. All the guests are requested to kindly assemble at Ganeshwar Hall. I request all the guests to please assemble at the Ganeshwar Hall. Thank you very much.